This is the new Mic Mini 2S from DJI, and it's as good, if not better, than their flagship Mic 3. But don't tell them I told you that. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get the very best audio from the Mic Mini 2S in 3 different ways. Connected to a professional video camera, an iPhone 17 Pro, and DJI's awesome Pocket 4 handheld camera. But first, let's take a look at some of the upgraded features. 32-bit float internal storage recording, and the incredible upgraded AI noise cancelling, which I'm a big fan of. Which leaves the only other real differences between this new microphone and the flagship Mic 3 being timecode recording, smaller internal storage, and no fancy color touchscreen. But I'm going to tell you why none of that matters. So the Mic Mini 2S comes in various different kit options, like the full charging case with 2 transmitters, 1 receiver, or the smaller charging case with 1 transmitter, 1 mobile receiver. Now, the 3 things I mentioned that it lacks against its bigger brother, the Mic 3, is firstly timecode, which honestly, I've never used in a professional capacity and probably never would. Second is internal storage recording, only half the size at 14.5 gigabytes compared to 32 on the Mic 3. But let me just explain how large 16 gigabytes actually is. You still get 29 hours worth of internal recording, which drops to 22 hours when you engage 32-bit float, and that's a huge amount of storage for relatively small file sizes. You also have the ability to engage what's called loop recording. Once your storage becomes full, any further recordings will overwrite the oldest recordings from the internal storage. Lastly, there is no fancy color touchscreen like the Mic 3's receiver compared to our scaled back RX receiver unit on the Mic Mini 2S, which has a slightly more analog feel to it, which I kind of prefer. The Mic 3's color touchscreen is just a little bit too small for my fat fingers. Often I select things without meaning to. This is where the DJI Mimo app storms into the lead for sheer user-friendly experience. With your receiver and transmitters connected to the app, you have a nicely laid out interface with clear sections for both RX unit and TX mics, with options like Safety Track, which records 2 separate mono tracks, with one being 6 decibels lower than the other, noise reduction, which we'll look at in more depth shortly. In transmitter settings, we obviously have gain, voice tone presets, and a whole host of pro features like adaptive gain, 32-bit float, and that loop recording. Once you pull the receiver out, those settings are locked in and ready for whichever camera you attach it to. This app versus a small touchscreen receiver is a clear winner. So now we've seen just how useful the Mimo app is and why I prefer it over the Mic 3's touchscreen receiver. Let's set up the Mic Mini 2S for the best possible audio connected to a Sony mirrorless camera. Now, the first thing you need to know about Sony cameras is they typically have bad built-in preamps, which basically means that audio is their last priority. So the first thing you'll want to do is turn down the audio gain to level 1. Which puts all of the responsibility onto the DJI microphone, which does have good preamps. Next, using the Mimo app with the receiver plugged into the data port, let's turn up the gain on the transmitter to +8. If you're holding the microphone around 6 to 8 inches from your mouth, then you'll want to drop the gain to around +6 or +7 dB. The only other option I recommend having switched on is called adaptive gain, and I'm going to show you why this is an important feature if you're not utilizing that 32-bit float internal recording, which we're going to talk about shortly. Lastly, turn the gain on the receiver dial to +6. So right now I'm filming with the Sony a7 IV and recording audio directly into the camera with those gain settings. And you can see from the waveform that we have good clean audio and a good balance even with a wind guard attached to this microphone. So circling back to adaptive gain, we have 2 different options. The first is loudness balance, which is more suited to indoor or studio environments with, moderate fluctuations in volume. Clipping control is recommended for outdoor environments where louder extraneous noises can influence your vocal levels. For this demo, we're going to use clipping control and also increase the transmitter gain to +12. So if I was to talk at a normal volume and then suddenly have to raise my voice, you can see from the waveform that this eliminates the possibility of clipping and essentially protects your audio with this real-time adaptive gain. So if I was to talk at a regular volume and then suddenly have to raise my voice, so without AG you run the risk of ruining your audio. Here's an example of both waveforms. With and without clipping control, you can see the adaptive gain track is far less erratic. I mean, this feature could be useful for places like sporting events, music festivals, or industrial sites like this. Now, connecting to another DJI product like the Osmo Pocket 4 is going to be super easy because of their trademark technology called Osmo Audio, which is a proprietary direct connection ecosystem. Yeah, that's a mouthful. So for this, we're going to use the Bluetooth part of that technology to connect directly without any receiver required. Once an initial pairing has been made between the microphone and the camera using the linking button, to get the perfect audio level, simply go into the microphone settings and turn the gain down to -8 dB. These two should automatically connect every time. It's that simple. And this is the result. Pretty decent audio levels with minimal fuss. And not bad views neither. So there are two helicopters up in the sky right now in central London causing quite a noise. Let's just switch them off. That's better. See, they don't call it noise cancelling for nothing. Right, so I'm currently stood under an M25 flyover just outside of London, one of the busiest stretches of motorway in the country. 8 lanes of traffic passing overhead. I can hear a helicopter, we've got trains passing behind us, and also leaves rustling in the trees. So we're going to test out this new noise cancelling feature with a Pocket 4 and a mobile receiver plugged into the bottom, which has a dedicated NC switch. Right, so here's a train now. Let's switch over to L, which I believe stands for low noise reduction or basic. And this gets rid of a decent portion of the background noise while giving us better vocal clarity. So finally, let's switch over to H. There's a train passing right now, and it pretty much gets rid of all of that noise in the background. Very impressive. It's such a great upgrade from previous versions of these Mic Minis. And it's doing all of this by using a new NPU or neural processing unit built in at the hardware level. So rather than relying on traditional audio filters, it's using AI and machine learning to optimize your audio in real time. By the way, I've been filming this entire studio section with an air conditioning unit running right next to me. This is what it actually sounds like in here with zero noise cancelling applied. And this is a huge upgrade from even the Mic 3, which is their flagship microphone, and this only has standard 2-level noise cancelling. So let's talk about 32-bit float recording and why it's such an advantage to have on a microphone such as the Mic Mini 2S, which is designed specifically for the spoken voice. So the average decibel range of a human voice is roughly between 20 and 80 decibels. That's a soft whisper through to a loud projected voice. Shouting and screaming can often break the 100 decibel ceiling. So let's say, for example, that you make ASMR style videos that require delicate vocals. You're going to want to increase your transmitter gain so those pleasing vocals can be picked up even in this bookstore. If we then go and film something completely different and forget to reduce back down our gain, a 24-bit recording will distort and clip, while a 32-bit float recording can be restored in post-production because it has a much larger dynamic range. The pink waveform is the original 32-bit float and the green standard 24-bit. If we try to reduce down this track, notice how it still remains clipped, resulting in distortion. The 32-bit track, however, can be reduced to restore the waveform to a normal shape. So using a Mic Mini 2S with an iPhone can be done quite easily, either using a standard RX receiver or, for this demo, using the mobile version. So what you're going to do is open up the Mimo app and insert the receiver into the data slot on your phone, and then once you're in settings, all you need to do is turn down the receiver gain by -6 dB. And this will give you good vocal balance for filming with an iPhone. And if you're lucky enough to have a gadget like the Osmo Mobile 7P, then not only will your audio sound first class, but your visuals will be nice and smooth as well. Now, 4-channel independent output recording is yet another big upgrade on this new microphone, bringing it alongside their flagship Mic 3 for professional features. And if you don't know what this means, you can basically connect up to 4 transmitters simultaneously, making it ideal for podcasts with multiple people or commercial projects. So let me show you how easy it is to set up. So open your charging case, take out the receiver and the 2 transmitters. And you can see that both TX units are now connected with the numbers 1 and 2 illuminated solid green. But you'll notice numbers 3 and 4 are empty. Let's take out the 3rd transmitter unit from the smaller charging case and pop both the RX receiver and this new TX unit back into the main charging case. And after a moment, all 3 transmitters are linked to the 1 receiver and ready for simultaneous recording. So if I had a 4th transmitter, I could connect all 4, but unfortunately I only have 3. Should you want to record to individual tracks rather than simultaneous tracks, you would need to open up the Mimo app and change the audio channel to quadraphonic and purchase a separate hot shoe adapter. But this is a really professional feature to have on the Mic Mini 2S. Voice tone presets can make your voice have a certain timbre. We have 3 presets: regular, rich, and bright. Here's a demo. I pretty much exclusively only use DJI microphones now because of the simplicity of workflow. The audio quality is very good, of course, but the compatibility with products like the Pocket 4 or Osmo 360 using that Osmo audio technology, capturing audio is an absolute piece of cake, and options like the mobile RX receiver, which is so small and compact, this just fits right into your pocket. But the adaptability of these mic receivers with their magnetic attachments mean that you can place them virtually anywhere, pin them to items of clothing, and adjust the direction to the source of the sound. Besides all of the technical features of these microphones, they just look so flipping cool, don't they? DJI did all of their research and development, made a great little microphone, and then handed it over to their design team and made some pretty bold statements. DJI very much know their own customers, vloggers, social media content creators, eccentrics, and they've made these designs accessible to everyone. So other things to mention about these new microphones is operating times. On a full charge, you'll get 11 hours straight on the transmitters and 10 hours on the receiver. And if you have the charging case option, you'll get 3 full charges out of this thing for your receiver and both transmitters. But what is impressive about these charging cases is that a 5-minute fast charge gets you an extra hour's worth of battery life, and that's a very nice safety net to have. Honestly, you should never have to worry about running out of battery life or indeed storage on these compact little microphones. I mean, the similarities between this new microphone and the DJI flagship Mic 3 are very close, closer in fact than its predecessor, the Mic Mini 2. Is it as good as the Mic 3? Not quite, but if you don't mind missing out on a few pro features like timecode or dual band anti-interference or that fancy colored touchscreen, honestly, the Mic Mini 2S is going to be better value for money, and in my opinion, has better noise cancelling technology. That's the end of the bowl.